So my name is Mark. I am the founder and lead developer at Contraband Interactive, specializing in Web 2 and Web 3 projects, mobile apps, games. I got my start in the crypto space about 4 years ago through hackathons. So that's when I was introduced to the XRP Ledger. And after then, I had a project called Tickets that explored the use of event tickets, NFT event tickets, sort of like Eventbrite on the blockchain, if you will. After that, I was part of a team called Pet Proof that was exploring tokenization of pet ownership and identification. Currently, I'm working with a startup, a wealth tech startup called Gen M Partners, and we are going to be launching a tokenized private equity fund on the XRP Ledger. So with every great business, a great business has to start with a great idea. Normally, there are two ways to come up with a good idea. You can just be in your normal day-to-day life. Maybe you're taking a shower, or driving your car, and you'll have an idea pop in your head. But there's another way to formulate an idea, and that's through within the confines of a challenge or a unique opportunity, because that gives you certain guardrails that may end up in being a more valid idea after all. So, for example, hackathons. That's one way to create a new idea within the context of predefined rules. How many of you did the hackathon a few days ago here? Anyone here? Nice, very cool. There are also accelerator programs. Antler is one that comes to mind. I think they have a presence here. So I live in Austin, Texas, and we're privileged there to have a company called Capital Factory that offers a lot of resources in the community. There's a lot of meetups that they organize. So I would encourage you to look at your local community and see what kind of offerings there are there, because it could be online and offline opportunities. Just to get more into the hackathon experience. So if it's your first time doing a hackathon, I would encourage anyone to try their hand at it. It's a great way to learn new technology and also maybe walk away with some prize money. At some point, if you want to get more competitive with things, you might want to go in with a couple strategies. So one being look at the total prize pool and look at the number of participants that are in there, and then make up your decision if it's worth your time. You might also want to consider if you're going to work as a solo entrant or if you're going to work with a team. If you're going to work solo, you're going to get a bigger piece of the pie if you win, but you have to wear all the hats. If you work as part of a team, you might have to put in a little less effort. If you're a specialist, that might be great for you. But it's a great way to meet new people and to build something that could be potentially the next billion-dollar idea. Another thing, just outside of the hackathon space, when you're just talking about what is a good idea, if you're not an expert in something, you can become an expert in something that you may have an interest in. For example, I'm a musician as well, so I try to look for ways to bring music into my projects as much as I can, because I feel like it gives me a unique perspective and a unique approach. So if you have an interest in something, whether that's art, fashion, or music, and you're not already an expert, you can become one by talking to people. You can ask about their pain points, ask about what their day-to-day activities look like, and just make yourself an expert. A few more hackathon tips for you. I think it's important to be original. I've seen a lot of NFT art marketplaces, and I think those are a little played out. But consider some of the hot topics today, like AI. I think at the end of the day, what's important in a hackathon submission is, does your code work? Is it using the sponsor technology? But you have to also realize that the judges are human beings and they're drawn to shiny things. So I spend a little time, but not too much time, on your branding, the name, the logo, maybe come up with something, just a few minutes, just something to give a visual impact there. Your code base is also very important. You want to have a detailed README listing all the sponsor technology that you're using, maybe which folder, which file that you're using that in. In your submission video, typically I'd like to keep these under 3 minutes because you have to get to the point. You want to show how you're using the sponsor's technology. So if you're in a hackathon, sometimes they have multiple tracks. and that's a good way to maximize your chance at winning. For example, about a year ago, I entered one that was a music video sharing platform on the Theta network. Well, so I entered both the Square Developer Hackathon because I was using the subscription API, and I was also using a video API on the Theta network hackathon. I won one of those, but I lost the other one. So entering multiple tracks is a great way to increase your potential for winning. And even outside of the hackathon sphere, if you're just looking to validate your idea, like let's say you might want to be pitching to some VCs, you should be out there talking to people, talking to potential customers about your idea, understanding their pain points, because a lot of times you might end up finding that the solution that you're offering is not the solution that they need. And it really sucks to hear that, but sometimes that's the truth. So you need to talk to people, talk to 50, 100 people to really get a good sense of the solution that you're offering, if it's something that actually people want to put money behind. And lastly, if you learn something new in a hackathon, you can always take away some of that knowledge and carry it on to a subsequent hackathon. So just to cover ways outside of hackathon rewards in general, there's other ways to fund your project. There are grant programs available, XRPL Grants Foundation, that's the big one here. There's seed funding available. Usually, if you're looking to attract venture capital, you want to make sure that you're showing at least $1 billion minimum total addressable market. So part of that is really understanding where your market is and talking to people and making sure that your idea is solid and valid. There are also loan programs out there. A lot of people don't talk about that. They're in the U.S. We have the SBA, which they offer 3 to 4% interest rates on their loans, which is a lot better than taking out a credit card to fund your project. There's also crowdsourcing opportunities, especially if you're already part of a community. That's a great way to get people to chip in, people that you might know, people that are in the space. There are also independent investors out there that might be interested in your project. So if you are, today, there's a lot of people here. You might find someone who could be the next investor in your project. So get out there and meet people. I think there is a networking session upstairs as well. At the end of the day, if you don't end up finding any of these routes to fulfill your project, you can also just go ahead and launch your project, maybe launch a condensed version of that, maybe just offer a small feature and try to get people to subscribe or to pay money for it. And then what you can do at that point is to take that back to the investors and then show them, even if you just have a handful of people, I think that speaks volumes because at the end of the day, the investors are investing in you as an individual, not just your project, but they want to see someone who has the tenacity and the drive to be the next billion-dollar idea. Thank you.